Hello all you out there in YouTube land, this is Translator10 and I'm back with another Batman review. Yeah, that's right, I have taken a very long absence from Batman focusing on other things. And that's just because, well, I'm kind of running out of retro Batman stuff to do. But this one, I have been promising to a lot of my fans. It is possibly the last basic Batman that I am probably going to review in any vintage line. And I do think it's one of the better Batman figures that have been released. Based on a very, very brief appearance in the first animated Batman movie. It is Retro Batman. From the Mask of the Phantasm collection by Kenner. The card art is, well, it's pretty basic. I really do love the silhouette of Batman, encompassing a lot of smoke, really surrounding the mystery of the Phantasm. And I do like this nice little profile picture of Batman holding his spinning battle gear. On the back of the card, it tells you the instructions on how to put him together and everything else that you can get in this line. I think I've reviewed... I think I've only reviewed just the villains. I've reviewed Jetpack Joker, Mr. Freeze, and, well, that's about it. Phantasm, Batplane, and of course the Batmobile. How does he compare to all the other Batman figures that I've reviewed? Well, let's take a look. Here he is, in the flesh, Retro Batman. This guy is pretty freaking amazing. For two reasons. It's a really cool vintage look for Batman, based on a couple of appearances in Batman the Animated Series, mainly Robin's Reckoning, and another brief cameo, basically encompassed in the shadows in Batman Mask of the Phantasm. He is your basic Batman figure. He has your typical 5 points of articulation at the head. The legs, they move slightly up, and the arms can go 360. He does have another bit of articulation right here, and that encompasses his action gimmick. Now, normally, I'm not a real big fan of action gimmicks in basic figures, but I really do feel that it doesn't hurt the figure. The activation thumb wheel, which, of course, it has a thumb wheel, does not prohibit movement. Like, you can still move his arms up and down. Basically, he can still be... You can display him, and he won't look awkward. He has your really cool vintage soft goods cape that, of course, has that really nice C-clamp, and it fits on Batman really nicely. I really love the sculpt on this figure. It really does make Batman seem a little bit younger. The square jaw isn't as defined. His head's a little bit smaller, and, of course, he does have the longer ears. I do have to take a little bit of an issue with the paint. Because it was a movie line and kind of like a limited edition, his paint is a little bit glossy. It isn't just a plastic, it's like a silvery, bluish paint. But after you have him for a little while, it really starts to warm on you. I actually do kind of like the shininess now. I really do love that vintage Batman symbol, which honestly kind of looks like the symbol that they're using for the teaser images for Batman vs. Superman. He has a really dark brownish bronze belt complete with buckle, and of course he has some really thinner legs. They aren't as muscular in the calf area as Combat Belt Batman. And he does have some nice little pectorals. Another interesting note, his gloves do not have the scallops. They are your traditional, swashbuckler gloves. Very, very cool for those of you who love the Golden Age appearances of Batman. He didn't really start to have the scallops on the gloves until, I think, just a few issues before meeting Robin in Detective Comics number 38. Of course, to activate his action feature, it just rotates his wrist like so. Similar to Thunder Whip Batman if you have that one. And of course, what would Batman be without his crime-fighting essentials? There is no bat launcher, there is no grappling hook launcher, no batarang, no handcuffs, no belt. So basically, it's not combat belt Batman. Because he has the thumb wheel, you pretty much got to expect something for him to twirl his weapons with. So, they gave us this really cool spinning staff. And I really do love the details on this weapon. It's got the nice little rivets and the little coils, and the batarangs are all got layered details with some raised details in the scallops. It really does look neat. And it's detailed on both sides. And the other one is, I guess you could call it a capture claw. That's what it's relatively known as. Kenner never gave us any names for these, so we have to name them ourselves. And this one has the same layered details. I really do love these weapons. They're a little basic. They don't have any function, but they are still cool to look at nonetheless. You can imagine that this is a spring coil that would clamp these together. And they can fit in either hand. This one I think is more for the left hand. And this one for the right hand, because this is the one you're going to twirl with. And of course, to activate that really cool special feature, you just twirl on the thumbnail right here. So and there you have it, folks. That is Retro Batman. Now, a lot of people may be turned off on the silvery paint, but if you're looking for a pre-yellow oval Batman, or just one that really represents a really neat age in Batman's crime-fighting history, you can't go wrong with him. He is a little hard to find. He was only available in the Mask of the Phantasm subline. So he is very difficult to track down, and you may be paying top dollar for him. But if you could find one in nice condition with all of its weapons, I would say just swoop him up. But this figure is definitely one of the highlights of Kenner's animated line. It's definitely a jewel in my collection. It is really neat. And that's really all I have to say about him. I hope y'all like this review of Retro Batman. And if you really do love my videos, please rate, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And until then, this is Transato10, and I am signing off.